Hello, hi, I'm Prakash. Welcome to my channel. You know, when we travel around the world and have really good experiences, really having fun, we try to capture those memories on our phones, photos, videos, or sometimes we buy things like souvenirs and bring them home and keep them on our living room, on our desk, working desk, which is going to always remind us of these beautiful memories which we had on our traveling days. So last year I was in Bangkok at Siam Square, and just after the COVID period, the Thai government has decided to make a boulevard-like place where people could walk around and experience a little bit more this beautiful square. And there are a lot of young students in the evening performing music, dances, and different kind of shows are being presented on that square. I think there are two universities which are close by, so it's kind of a real nice, vibrant place where you have this young people just performing and a lot of music going on in the evenings, especially during the weekdays, weekends. I mean, and it's very vibrant. So I was there, and for the first time I just experienced that, and it was new. This place was new. There are big new trees planted, so they could just spend shadow. They were not really very big because they've just started. They've just planted these trees, and I'm always fascinated from different kinds of trees and plants. I always had a passion for plants, and I still do. So I have a lot of different kinds of plants in my garden, in my house also. So there was one particular tree which just attracted my attention, and this was a very beautiful tree. It was very young still, but it was having these branches which are just going like that out and stretching like an umbrella. And still, it was not very dense. It had just this. It was very light in a way, which was not really crowding or just to bring like a big dark cloud around you. It was just airy and spacious, and still it was just giving you a little bit shadow. And so it was really creating a very nice, beautiful atmosphere. And I was this year back again in Bangkok at this Siam Square. And after the rain season and the warm period, hot season, the trees have had a lot of time to grow, and they were really big and they were really majestic looking. So they were so beautiful, green, and yes, and if you were just walking under these trees, it was so cool. I mean, Bangkok is very, very warm. It was something like 35 to 40 degrees as I was there, and when you just walk under these trees along or just stay there, it's such a cooling feeling. It was just not shadow. The air was fresh. You were able to. It was such a beautiful feeling. So I was really fascinated from this tree, and there were many trees. They were just trying to, I think, create like an avenue of trees, an alley of trees on both sides, so they could just, the branches are going to be coming like that and build a nice kind of a roof. So I was really fascinated and just admired this tree, and at the same time I absorbed this summer vibe which was going on. These young people performing and fully crowded and in a way in a peaceful atmosphere as well. So, and a very joyful, peaceful and joyful atmosphere. So as I came back, I was redoing my garden after expanding my koi pond. I did the seating place also. I I recreated it. And this is a very nice seating place because you can sit there and enjoy the koi pond and this beautiful koi pond and feed them. And at the same time, it is also a place where I go in the mornings when I want to meditate, early morning when I wake up, and go into the garden and sit there and just look into the water and the fish and just get myself absorbed into this nature and start to meditate also. So it is a place which is a place where I go to regenerate myself. But the only drawback was the moment when the sun comes from the south. This is facing south, so the garden is there on the bottom, and when the sun comes out, it gets very, very warm, and you can't, especially during the summertime. So it's very, very hard to sit there and be in this meditative state. So it's kind of disturbs the whole atmosphere. So I was looking for a tree. I didn't want to build any kind of artificial structure which is going to spend some shade. I wanted to have something natural because my garden is full of diversity, and it's a natural garden. I want to have this natural atmosphere inside the garden. And so I was looking for a tree which could be planted. It would be in the middle of the garden actually, and which is going to spend a lot of nice shadow. But at the same time, I didn't want to have a big dense tree because our garden is very, very small. So if you have a very big tree which is massive and majestic, it's going to absorb the whole garden, and you're not going to see anything anymore in the garden, or the garden is not going to get any light anymore. So I didn't want to have that. I wanted to have just a little bit airy and still have this beautiful atmosphere and beautiful shade, which is not fully shading. A little bit light is still coming through like that. And at the same time, it's also very important for us when we plant something in the garden that we are not only having something to look which is beautiful, we would like to have also some more uses through this tree or plants. So for example, flowers which are really beautiful flowers and which have a beautiful scent, so we can pluck them and use them in our house, in a vase, or even flowers which could be used to create syrups or desserts or gelees or something like that. So marmalade, or the fruits or nuts. So it is very important for us when we plant a tree that we have many different uses. If we can't have these kind of uses, then we would like to at least have like the trees bearing fruits which we can't eat, but the birds are coming in winter. So for example, if you have wild apple, they are very, very small tiny apples. You can use them in a jelly, but most of the time you can also leave a lot of them on the tree during the winter time, during Christmas time, and that's going to look very beautiful. This red or orange colored fruits hanging on this tree, and the birds are going to enjoy it. So you have a lot of nature going on and in the garden, even in winter when you look outside, something like that. So we were looking for a tree which we could buy, and we went to the garden center. And we were just walking around, especially just the apple tree. So we were looking for this wild apple tree. Perhaps that could be something, because they usually also grow very, very big. You can cut them and prune them so they're not very dense. So I thought, okay, why not? So we were just looking, going through this garden center, through all these apple trees, and we saw also a beautiful walnut tree, and I really love walnut, and this also has very beautiful, very big leaves, and walnuts in autumn. This is so wonderful. But again, walnut tree is also going to grow very, very big. But in any way, so we were just going around these trees, and then we saw one tree. There were 4 4 small trees growing so tall, something like 2.3 meters high, tall, something like that, and they were having more than one stem. So it's like one stem going like that, one stem going like that. So in the spot you just had this, wow, this like a big umbrella which is going around like that. So, and which was really beautiful, and it had this beautiful leaves, feather-like leaves structure. So with small leaves, and we found it's not looking so massive. It looks very nice and just kind of a charm, and it reminded me of something. It reminded me of this beautiful trees in Siam Square in Bangkok, and so I was really fascinated. So I walked around the trees, and you had the same kind of feeling. It was a very warm summer day as we were in the garden center, and as you walked underneath, or you just got a little bit closer to the tree, you had the same kind of feeling which I had in Bangkok. The air was getting like, it's very difficult to explain how it is possible. I mean, the tree is here and the next trees are here, so why when you just get to the tree a little bit closer, the air was just feeling fresher. You were able to breathe better, and there was kind of a shadow which was just giving a little bit light, kind of a cooling feeling. So we walked around the tree a couple of times thinking, okay, what is this tree at all? We have never seen this kind of tree before in the garden center, because that is one of the problems which we have. We do not have much diversity when it comes to big trees and hedges and everything. You always have this monoculture trees, just one colored trees going around the garden and making your boundary. It looks very nice from inside. It's fully green, but there's no diversity. So you just turn around like that, you go around, it's the same old tree, which is like from this side, this everywhere the same tree. So this is kind of I don't know, it is not really my thing. I would like to have diversity. I find it very, very nice when you have a beautiful red colored tree and an orange colored tree and a different kind of plant there which is bearing some other kind of fruits. So, but still in an harmony with each other. So they are not just standing alone. They are just with each other and incorporated into this nice atmosphere. So this is kind of atmosphere which I would like to have in my garden. So yeah, most of the time in the garden centers you do not find these kind of trees. Even if you want to buy an apple tree, there are just only few apple varieties which you can't buy, and the rest are not available most of the time. Either it is very, very early in spring you can buy it, or then later just before winter where you could also plant trees, you get this. Otherwise it's for a very short time you get this variety and diversity. Otherwise it's just going to be a monoculture. So we just started to just surf a little bit and find out more about this tree, because the information which you get on these labels on these trees hanging, these labels which are hanging on these trees are very, very very less information what you get. There's not really much information about the tree itself. It is just this tree needs light, this tree needs space, that's it, nothing more. What about the flowers? When it is blossoming? Are they poisonous? Are they going to bear fruit? Are these fruits good for the environment or for the whole nature? Are the birds going to come and eat them? All these kind of things are sometimes lacking. I mean, I know you don't need a big description like that, but in very short, if you have some pictograms or something like that, just would be even help a lot. But unfortunately, these days when you go into a garden center, you do not really get these kind of information. So it's very, very less information what you get. And anyway, so we started to just look it up in the internet, and we found some information very important for us. That is a tree which resembles this tree which I saw in Bangkok in Asia, but it is climated here. So it could withstand up to minus 15 degrees Celsius. In the last 10 years, it has not really got very cold than minus 10 or minus 12 degrees, something like that. Sometimes just for 1 or 2 days it goes very down, perhaps up to 20 degrees minus. Otherwise it's not really going to be very cold for a long time. So this is perfect for us. The tree is always going to have more or less always tends to create more stems and grow like this, like this big umbrellas, and not grow very dense. Let a lot of light in and a lot of air come up and down, flow through. So you always have a very cool, nice atmosphere and fresh atmosphere inside. So we bought the tree, and now it is just in the middle of our garden, and it's really thriving very good. This tree even started to blossom. So the first flower had, and it was so beautiful and delicate. And this again reminds me of other good memories which I had as I grew up in Asia. So the reason why I wanted to share this full story like this on this video, because today in our society we tend to just have a kind of a negative attitude towards diversity, variety, and we always go to monocultural agriculture, and our gardens have become they do not have anymore the diversity which it should have, so there could be really nature could thrive. You need a plant society, a big tree which is going to spend some shade, so there could be plants underneath which love shade. They could grow in harmony with each other and complement each other. And that's the thing which I always try to emphasize when you're having a garden like that, and you have this beautiful one-colored tree going around. But when you do not have this diversity, it is not going to be a living garden. You're not going to have enough insects coming, bees, flies, butterflies, or different kinds of birds. Even we have different kinds of birds which are always coming to our garden, because we have different fruits and flowers and berries which stay along winter, which they grow very fast during springtime. And so this is a vibrant living atmosphere. So therefore I thought, when I'm making this, when I'm showing this tree and making a video about this garden, a part of this garden, I would bring up this topic a little bit more and emphasize on this diversity, how important it is to have diversity in our life. And at the end, I mean, the reason why we travel around the world, go beyond our boundaries, is to see new things, experience new things, have more fun than what you could have in your own garden, in your own surrounded walls. So we just leave this place and go beyond our boundaries in order to experience new things, learn new things, new culture, new people, new languages, new food, new atmosphere. And we enjoy those things, and it is very important because you cannot be always traveling. We have a life also, working and everything. So it is important, if you have a chance, to use it to bring these memories into our place where we are there on a daily basis, and remind ourselves of this beautiful diversity and the variety which enriches our lives and enhances us as human beings. So I hope I was able to inspire you a little bit through this video, to bring more diversity to your life and more variety into your life, and not to close yourself with a monocultured boundary. Especially if you're a passionate gardener, try to open yourself, try to bring new plants into your garden, new diversity, new variety, and experiment a little bit. It's worth it. You're going to enjoy it, and especially if you can connect to something like that, like what I did with these beautiful memories which I had on my traveling days. And if you can connect like that to some kind of a very good experience which you had in your life, and try to represent it in your garden through a plant or a flower or fruit, you should try to do it. And that is really worth it. And each time when I'm sitting in my living room and look out of the garden, I see this beautiful tree, and it reminds me of this summer vibe of this Siam Square, with this peaceful and joyful atmosphere of young people performing and full of life. And especially when it is getting a little bit darker very soon, like now, it is really important to have some kind of good memories going on there outside. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, which helps a lot to promote the videos, and also gives a boost to produce new videos, new content, especially when there are people who like it and appreciate the work. It inspires you and gives you more energy to do something more creative and to produce something also with a lot of passion. So hope to see you very soon. Until then, be safe and be happy. Bye bye.